Well, on a sad note, Ted Turner, the high-flying media tycoon, entrepreneur, and philanthropist who founded CNN and really revolutionized American cable television, died today. He was 87 years old.
NBC's Chris Clackham has more on his life and career.
Ted Turner, the man who would one day conquer television, started out in billboards, taking over the family business at 24 following his father's suicide. He quickly turned it into a multi-million-dollar business.
That was my father's advice to me, was do not set goals that are achievable during your lifetime. Set goals that are too high.
Next, he turned his attention to a struggling TV station in Atlanta. His bold idea: use the new satellite technology to broadcast news and information content to local TV providers across the country.
This is TBS Newswatch.
It was the birth of cable television.
Superstation WTBS.
But even that wasn't enough for the ever-enterprising Turner, purchasing not just one, but two sports teams, and improbably leading the U.S. to victory at the 1977 America's Cup.
Driving, trip it, lower the pole.
But television seemed his true passion. In 1980, he launched CNN, the country's first 24-hour cable news network.
Good evening, I'm David Walker.
And I'm Lois Hart. Now here's the news.
Beaming round-the-clock news coverage to homes nationwide.
The skies over Baghdad.
And launching a new era in television. 1991, after 2 divorces and 5 children, Turner married Hollywood actress Jane Fonda. The power couple would divorce a decade later. Turner would eventually bow out of the business he helped build, selling Turner Broadcasting System to Time Warner in 1996 and eventually exiting the company altogether. He quickly found new passions, donating $1 billion to the United Nations to promote world peace.
I love this world of ours. It's a beautiful, wonderful place that deserves taking care of.
A dedicated environmentalist, he also bought up hundreds of thousands of acres in the West to protect from development, working to restore America's depleted bison population, the species rebounding enough to go back on the menu.
Stop by Ted's Montana Grill and have a bison burger with me.
Whether it was touting burgers or promoting his latest book, Turner was not just fabulously successful, he fancied himself as quintessentially American, bold and brash, a man who looked for new horizons to conquer, and did.
I think I've led an adventurous life, and that's really what I wanted to do.
Jesse Kirsch, NBC News.
Wow.
Yeah, I met him on several occasions. I would MC the Captain Planet. Captain Planet still exists. I mean, it's a foundation. Well,
okay.
That was in the mid-90s.
Right.
But it's a foundation to help the planet. And every year they have a fundraiser, and I interviewed him. And this is what was really interesting to me. It was in 2018. He was just starting to lose his faculties just a little bit, you know, once, because it was dementia that contributed to the loss of him now today. And I would talk to him, and he was there. I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't there, but he was much more subdued than we knew him to be.
Yeah.
And I asked him at one point, what was the moment you knew CNN was on the map? And he said, his eyes just lit up. It's like he came alive.
Yeah.
January 17th, 1991, Baghdad. Bernard Shaw was there, Gulf War was starting, and nobody could turn the television off. And that is true. I mean, that's what experts say really rose CNN out of where they were, because people told him, you're crazy. There's never, there I am with him. That was in 2018. Very, very nice man. You're right, very bold. What I loved about him was he wasn't going to take anybody's crap.
Yeah, never.
You know, he wouldn't do it, but he cared about people. It's not that he didn't care what they felt about him, but he did care about humans.
Yeah. His dad told him, set your goals so high that they're impossible to attain. Yep. He was a super achiever.
And he did.
One of my favorite Ted Turner stories, he was involved in sports for years. He owned the Atlanta Braves.
CBS.
He fired his manager and hired himself and literally put on a Major League Baseball uniform and stood in the game in the dugout for one game. And the commissioner of Major League Baseball called him up that night and said, yeah, this charade is over. You, as an owner, you cannot manage your own team. But he had that kind of bravado, and he felt he could do anything.
Which is exactly why CNN made it to where it
You're
did.
right.
Yeah, for so many years. All right. Oh, thinking about his family and his kids.